Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine's Design. I am back with a TN Bible study project. So I started out with my, it is a Bible study by the Sojo Academy, and you can either print it out in a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet, or you can print out a TN. So I printed out a TN, but most standard TNs are basically that for a month. There are a lot more pages. So I was like, oh man, what do I do? Then I remembered I had gotten sent an extra journal by mistake. So I thought, well, let's see what this does. So what I decided was I went in and I glued it in. I mean, how easy is that? So I could literally flatten this out, but I'd already folded it for the tin, and I may flatten it out still. But this is the month of August, and you're going, well, it's almost the end of September. What are you doing? Well, it's a two-part Bible study, August and September. And as you guys know, I tend to not do just one a day. I tend to sit and do like an hour's worth at a time. And so I just decided that I wanted to go ahead and do the part one. I'll do the part two, and then I'll, of course, be back on track in October. But it just started looking to me. I'm going to move this out of the way. Hopefully I don't lose you guys. That's the only problem. I didn't think about that, was the cord. But I just went and put 3 at a time. Why did I put this? Because it works out that way in the end, and it works out fine. So I just went through and did 3 at a time. Now, this is a dilutions journal, and so I thought, these are prep pages. They're ready to go as far as mixed media. And I thought, well, I'm just going to use this Yoo-hoo, and I'm going to stick down the main portion of it. And then I'm going to come back with all that washi you just saw me moving. So I went to my washi bucket, and I mean, this has literally taken me 10 minutes to glue in. So I went and got my little ice cream tub and my husband and daughter's ice cream, and just started digging through trying to find washi. I need to get that in the ribbon place, sorry. But I just started grabbing washi, and I was grabbing things that were like this to this size. I'm not sure yet what size I'm going to use, but I was trying to pick the ones that I never use. So that's one that I very rarely use. I liked some of the solids. I just thought, now things like this I might use in different kind of journaling, and what I really was looking for were things that I wouldn't need it right away. So like this is foiled, and I thought, no, I'm not going to use that. And it's just a great way to use up washi that, it's not that you don't like it, it's just not your first grab. So I did that, and like I showed you, I have a stack of them over there, and I've got my Yoo-hoo glue, which I'm not even putting the top on good. And I know if you guys are a big Diane Reevely fan, you know that Diane is like, oh no, my glue's the best. Well, actually, I don't like glue stick at all. In all honesty, I don't like glue stick, and I really don't like it. And to me, it's not a good resource. I know, shh, don't tell her I said that. But anyways, so I was trying to get her glue. I have given her glue a lot of, times of try. I don't think it's any better. Yoo-hoo is what I can get locally, and it's cheap. And her glue is not that it's expensive, because it's not. It's just that it's not easy or convenient for me to get it. And for things like this is going to be so quick. This isn't an art journal. This is a Bible study journal that I'm throwing in an art journal, and just going to enjoy it. So while I'm talking to you guys, I'm just going to start putting the washi down and showing you guys this is what I'm thinking. Now, do I need to do this? No. Could I get 2 TNs for each month's Bible study? Sure I could, but I don't want to, and I'm using what I have, and I'm blooming where I am. So, guys, use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy one of these. You don't have to do XYZ. You just need to do what works for you. And for me right now, this works. And even though I'm almost to the edge there, yeah, because this is kind of transparent tape, I don't mind it. It's only going to show on the edge there, and it really is only to frame it out, because it's really, right at the edge on that side. It took me, like halfway through doing this to figure out, ooh, this is where I like the page. Ooh, this is, you know what I mean? Because it's so tight. But, I mean, hands down, how easy is this? It's not hard. I was literally watching YouTube on the TV, And I just thought, I'm just going to sit here and do this. Now, I may have these too far apart, and so I have different sizes of washi pulled. So on things like that, right now, I mean, I could even come back in here with this, and I would be totally fine with it. But, whoops, I'm dropping stuff. And I also have things like this. This is too wide, so I'm going to put that up. I might use that for the outside edge. And then I've got these, and I really like those. But they will not look good with that, so I'm going to go with this one. It's kind of clear. It's light. It has yellow on it. I mean, some of these washies, this just was a big old cheap kit from Amazon. And, you know, it was all the different colors of the, you know, rainbow, 6 different colors. And then in each color it had, I don't know, 10, 20 different, you know, washies. And, you know, sometimes cheap washi is not worth the time. And I'm going to tell you right now, I just unrolled this and it's really sticky on the outside, which means this is not great washi. But I don't need this to be, you know, super fantastic. This isn't an art journal. This is a Bible study journal. And I just want it to be functional and yet make me smile. So anyways, but, whoopsie. I don't like cheap. I do not like cheap washi. I know. And I did it because I was tired of buying, you know, washi that was too expensive. Be smart. I mean, this is the first one of these that this has happened. And what's really happened to it is it's sticky. Yeah. It's, somehow the sticky got messed up and it's traveled to the next part. But if I'm really slow, sometimes you can milk it and get it to work. So I'm going to be, and one side is worse than the other, it looks like. So, hey, we did it. Hopefully. Hopefully. I say that before we get it all finished. But, you know, I mean, use what you have. If you have a lot of washi and it's some stuff that you've had for a while and you think, oh, it's not my favorite, then just use this. I mean, you know, because honestly, you're not going to be looking at the washi. It may make you smile. It may make you happy when you open it up. But the focus is the Bible study. So that's all that matters. So, all right. Now, for this side, I am going to use whiter washi. Wider, not whiter. I don't know what I said. Anyways, I've got washi all over me, but that's okay. And this is Simply Gilded. So you and I both know Simply Gilded is fantastic. But I just am going to use it because I've got it. I have it. I'm going to use what I have. Anyways, and I did get this kind of tight down here, but I'm going to make it work. I mean, the idea here right now is, you know, and there's the address, sojoacademy.com. It's just what works for you, and you have to find what works for you. And honestly, this just works for me. I mean, yeah, this makes me happy. This is the one thing I would look at every month, so I would be happy here. Now, it hangs over a little bit, and I'll just come back and trim it, and I'll show you that in a minute. And let's see if I can cover that up. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, and I think it's going to hang over up here too, and I'm okay with that. Seriously, we can fix it. We have the technology. We have the knives and the scissors and all that good stuff. So, and yeah. So because when I first started this, I thought, oh, I should have inked the pages. I should have done X, Y, Z. I should have. And I thought, you know, when I got through it, I thought, no. I mean, this is already past. I mean, I'm going to be working back. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump y'all. So, as you can see, there's a little bit here and a little bit here. And either I'll come back in with a mat, a cutting mat, and I'll trim it with this, or I'll just take my scissors and I'll go just right along here like this and just, you know, trim it out. So, sorry I keep bumping y'all, and I apologize. So, I'm going to come back and do that later, and I'm just going to do a little bit more and talk to you guys. So, a friend of mine had said, you know, whenever you start working in your journals, you should turn it on. Well, I don't know that this is what you're thinking of, but now, I will tell you, for the October class, I think I'm going to work in a Dilutions, yeah, that was a little bit wider, good. A Dilutions smaller journal, and because it'll just be easier to work with. And I've considered, do I want to do the backgrounds of it? You know, I'm not sure yet, because at this point what I see is, this is great, and I love it. But I don't really see the backgrounds a whole lot. So I don't know if I want to do that. You know, I just don't know yet. And as time goes on, I figured I'll know. You know what I mean? And that came up, but I'm not going to worry about it. This is how easy you need to make it. But, yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. See, that cheap tape. That cheap tape. I need to go slow. I didn't recognize it was the same tape, so my mistake. All right. But I am going to take my time. I am going to, yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this journey. I think that, you know, at this point in our lives, there's so many difficulties right now. And I think we need to find things that will get us in the Word and that will, you know, feed our hearts. And right now, I need my heart to be fed, all of it. Yeah, I mean, we've been going through a rough time here, and, you know, I mean, it's nothing that God can't handle, but it doesn't make it any less a difficult time. You know, and I think we as Christians, I think we need to be honest. I really do. I grew up in a family that, bless my mom's heart, everything was good, everything was perfect, all the skies were blue, there was never any problems. Now when the problems came, and that has been true with some, you know, of my siblings, let's say, they don't really handle difficulty well. They really shove it off to somebody else quickly, or they just pretend it's not happening. And one of them even got mad and said, you know, well, mom never dealt with the reality. And it was like, well, are you far from there yourself? You know, I mean, all I kept thinking, I mean, you're sad, and I can see that, but, you know, I mean, we all have to, like, you know, dig in sometimes, and I hate to say it, sometimes it is just the worst time in the world to dig in. I mean, you are in a horrible situation, and the last thing you want to do is dig in. Well, when I say dig in, I mean dig into the Word. And, you know, and dig in and help and dig in and serve. And, you know, I think that at this time, you know, there are a lot of people around us who are hurting. And, you know, the people that tend to hurt the most tend to not notice that anybody else is hurting, unless it's been made a big deal to them. And it's always easier to help those outside of your family than sometimes that it is to help your family. So you have to think those things through. You know, what am I going to do? How am I going to serve? And what is my role going to be? And you have to pick up the mantle, and you have to, you know, decide to serve. And so for me, part of that is just making sure I'm in the Word, making sure that I have that prayer time every day, throughout the day, many times a day. Am I in my prayer closet? Am I praying? Am I in the Word? Am I studying? Am I encouraging and serving others? You know, what is it that I need to be doing? And, you know, serving here is not the same thing as serving in my day-to-day. And there are things in my day-to-day that I just think, well, hello to you too. I'm going to let you go for a while. Seriously, I mean, we all feel that way. I'm just saying it out loud, so forgive me. But we all have those people in our lives where we just think, well, I'm not trying with you anymore. So that was the end of that. I'm going to just save that here for another project. Yes, we don't throw anything away. I've got what's left of this yellow, and it's the same company, so I'm just going to keep working with it. But, so I just want to say in life, do the best you can. Nobody's here, I mean, and if anybody's judging you on what you're doing, well, that's on them. You know, you're just going to have to do the best you can, and there are always critics. I have someone in my life that it doesn't matter how I call, it doesn't matter the amount of research I do, how much I've invested the time on the day-to-day to try to help or do whatever has to be done, and they will invariably tell me, basically, you don't know what you're doing. Well, you can't do it that way. You've got to do it this way. And you're just like, okay, not only are you younger than me, not only are you not in the trenches, not only do you not even want to heavily engage except for to tell people when they're wrong, yeah, no. And you're going to have to recognize that. And maybe it's somebody that you have to update, which I have those people. But, you can just let that kind of just roll off. Sometimes you have to you got to let it go, and you got to pray for them, and you got to love them, and you can do all those things. But there are some people in your life that, they're going to want to put their 2 cents in, and you have to do what's good for you, where God has called you to be. Because Satan loves to use anybody. And these could be wonderful, well-meaning Christians. I'm serious. And honestly, they're not doing it to be mean. They're not. They're just doing what they know. And, I mean, how many times have we ourselves done that? Our kids come to us and we're like, well, whoa, wait a minute. Have you considered this? Have you considered that? Because that's the role we've always been in. But sometimes they don't need us to say, did you consider this? Did you consider that? I got a call today from a younger person in my life who means a great deal to me. And they were super, super, super excited. We have been praying for them, or I've been praying for them, for a special need in their lives, and God has provided. And there is a provision. And so I sat there and cut out all these pages because I knew something told me if this is going to be a long phone call, and I don't have a lot of time today. And I just sat there with my little trimmer cutting away. And it was one of the sweetest phone calls I've had in a long time. One where, definitely God was at work in their life. And I would just say every now and then, can I ask you a question? Because I just listened. And they would say, sure, sure. And I would say, I'm not saying that you won't do this. You probably have already done it, but have you thought about this? And, the funny thing was, because I was just praying through the whole conversation, do I say something? Do I not? God, what do you want me to do? And when I said something, I said, listen, you've probably already got this T crossed, but, have you considered this? And the first thing he said was, that is a great idea, and I will do that. Thank you. And I said, it's not my idea. It's just kind of logical. And so I don't want you to think I'm thinking you need to give me all this credit. You don't. But it was just something that was well received. And, and it wasn't like, you're wrong, you've done it all wrong, this is how you really need to do it. I mean, it wasn't my place. So as we go through life and we deal with these people in our lives that tell us we're all wrong, or we don't know what we're doing, or, you got to quit doing just the, whatever, the horrible way that you do things. Wow, I guess that's an airplane. Wow, that is really loud. We don't hear things like that inside. Anyway, sorry guys. But we do have to pray out, ask God to guide us in our words, and we have to find those that genuinely care enough and support us in a way, see there, that one goes, in a way that is supportive and helpful. So, I mean, if you have somebody in your life that is nothing but a Debbie Downer every time you talk to them, or they're a know-it-all every time you talk to them, or you know nothing every time you talk to them, you need to pray through, is that the person you really need to be reaching out to? And, and God has really been showing me that lately. It doesn't matter who they are in your life. I mean, I have to be honest, there are times in my life where my husband, my spouse is not, super supportive of some things, and yet later comes back and says, wow, that really was God's will. And so why beat a dead horse? Why try to convince him? For me, I really, and I'm just giving him as an example. He's not always, that's not always the case, but I'm just using his name as an example. So as you guys go through things in your life, you do what helps your heart be able to move forward and deal with things. Make sure that you are waking up every day and having a good breakfast, that you are hydrated, that you are getting some kind of exercise, that you are outside in sunshine, if at all possible. If not, take a good vitamin D. These are the things that we all need to be taking care of ourselves. We're getting ready to go into a flu season. It's going to be they predict it'll be the worst thing we've ever been through because of coronavirus on top of it. Well, hopefully not. But what are you doing? So for me, we have started doing these heavy duty smoothies. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that. And our smoothies are really high protein because we're vegetarian. And I've started a whole new, setup. And I'm just going to put that there. You can't tell that it's doubled up. I've started a whole new level of supplements because I know that my body needs something different right now. And just kind of tired of being tired. You know what I mean? So, I've spent some time with a nutritionist. I've talked through. So what I'm doing is, and I'm having a terrible time swallowing. So I'm doing shakes, high protein, and not crazy high protein, but just higher protein than what I've been doing, and vitamin supplements, and just all the things in between, because my body is telling me it's really tired, and it's been really stressed, going through some difficulty lately, and I can't afford for my body to get stressed because of my autoimmune. So today for breakfast we had you can look on my Instagram, it was a dark chocolate cherry smoothie bowl, and I put cacao nibs, and I think that was it on top. And that was so good. And I made some for my husband, and then my daughter had what was left over. It took her forever just to get through the little bit I gave her. I'm so glad I didn't do a big bowl, because it would have been, I don't want to be, I just don't like to be wasteful. And honestly, I'm having to get used to the smoothie kind of taste and feel again, and it just takes me a while to get adjusted. So, and of course I add chia seeds and greens and everything else that you can put in it, collagen, protein, collagen, the whole bit. And, it's been a great idea. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm super, I feel great, but I mean, I know that I'm stopping first thing in the morning, and I'm feeding my body the way it should be fed. And then for lunch, my daughter made lunch today. It wasn't my pick, but you know what? It was very good. And so she made us kind of a butter noodle with cheese. And then it's really rich. And then I asked her, I had cut up some zucchini from our garden in long little planks, which she make us with a little bit of Parmesan, put it in the toaster oven, and make us some zucchini, kind of zucchini boats. And, my husband and I love those. She doesn't like them, so she doesn't ever eat them, which always worries me, but you know how that is as a mom. And she's super healthy. But, she did have some of the smoothie, so I feel good about that. So, I mean, that's the first thing I would say every day. Now, the obvious one is you gotta move. I gotta move. I have to move every day. And with my arthritis, I literally wake up and just start unhooking my hands. And, that's what I do. And then I stretch, and, before I even get up. And I just find, that I stand up and try to stretch and kind of unhook any joint that may be caught up with the arthritis, which that happens to me. And sometimes they kind of get locked in, and they're there for the winter, kind of deal. But, we've got to move and stretch and, just kind of start our day in a healthy way. And then, I went outside today and I worked in the garden. I came in huffing and puffing, so I felt like I had done it right. So it took me, matter of fact, I had to call back a family member, and I had to cool down for 30 minutes first. So I watched a YouTube and an art video, and I was just like, well, I'm trying, and I'm trying. I'm not running a marathon. I'm not, climbing a mountain. I'm not doing any of that, but I'm doing what my body will allow me to do. So many of you that are on this channel, you guys are in similar places. Some of you are young and healthy and active, and I'm so thankful for that. But for those of us that are less young and and maybe struggling, with arthritis or, whatever it is. Okay, that's the end of that one. So I'm going to take it to where you can use the tape, and I'll set that there. Anyways, we just have to move in the way that our body will allow us to move. And some of that, it is great and easy peasy, and some of us, it is not as great and easy peasy. So, but do what you can do. I mean, I think, I was talking to this nutritionist, and he was so good to say, look, because of your arthritis, I would rather you not walk if you can't walk, or if it's dangerous, and I try to walk when I can. My husband built a gravel and daughter, and our daughter-in-law's brother built a beautiful track out to our cottage, to my cottage, and to his office. And so I try to make sure that I walk that at least. It's just a pathway. I try to walk it every day. And then look how easy and quick this is going. I know, isn't it fun? Anyways, and then I try to make sure that I enjoy the flowers. If I feel good, I'll walk out into the pasture and check on our other gardens out there. And yesterday morning I did all that, and I checked our loofahs along the fence line. I walked the fence line, and, things like that, I don't mean to be silly, but it makes me happy. It gives me time to talk out loud to the Lord. And as I work in the garden, the Lord and I are talking the whole time. I mean, God help anybody who walks by and thinks I'm crazy. I mean, we're out in the country. Nobody's going to walk by. But, yeah, and even if they did, I mean, I'm not like talking loud. I'm praying. I'm talking to the Lord. I'm asking him about the day. I'm thanking him for the things that he's providing. I'm asking him for his wisdom and guidance. I'm, all the things that we do when we pray. So, if you are like me and, exercising may not be as fun as it used to be, and your body is not as polite as it could be, distract yourself. Find something else that you can do at the same time, but yet reap a really good benefit. And so for me, I filled one full basket of okra, oh gosh, what did I pick today? I picked okra. I'm going to do 2 of these because this is a bigger gap than I thought. I picked okra. I picked lots of collards. I picked, oh goodness, peppers, regular and spicy. I picked, and I already said okra, tons of okra. And then I also picked a lot of herbs. So because of all this rain, I mean, I even have lavender growing, which we don't get lavender over here because we are too damp a soil, because lavender likes it, high and dry. And I am so thankful I found a way to grow lavender, and it is flourishing. I had dill start up where I had planted it. It didn't grow. And I guess somehow the Lord just had a bird pick up those seeds and move it to another garden. And it's growing. So I'm really excited. And I've got a recipe that I want to try. It's a popcorn made with dill. And so you use it like a spice on top. And it's a variation of it. And it's supposed to taste like ranch dressing. So I thought, yeah, I mean, it sounds fairly healthy. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to, make it a little bit healthier than the original recipe. But, I mean, we go through these things and it's like, well, what can we do? What can I do right now? Okay. And I know there's so many people out, and I'm so thankful, but we're not. I mean, we're in, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it, until, and believe me, I've heard everything. I have heard everything, and have another appointment this week for myself, one for my husband, and you know what? We just have to do what we can do. And, having, wow, how many deaths did we have this week? 2, 3, and then we have a dear friend who's going to have surgery, and I will be back with an update on our friend here at the channel, and she's getting ready to embark. I just printed out her email over there. I mean, it's a rough time for people right now, health-wise, and, I'm recognizing that, I'm going to do what I can do. I'm just going to do it. And for me right now, I'm eating healthily. I will probably have some kind of a piece of fruit for this afternoon for a snack. And then tonight, my daughter and I were talking that dinner is just going to be, what am I trying to say? Salad. And if my husband's hungry, we have tons of eggs from the chickens and all the poultry. And so we will cook him, he usually eats 3 eggs at a time. And so we will cook him an egg. But, I mean, I've lost a little weight. I feel a little bit better. That's always good. And especially for me. For me. It's always good. As you